Patience. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. It's almost 8 p.m. here in the Netherlands, here in Europe, Amsterdam Central Time. My name is Marilva. I am a contemporary artist for those who already know and already joining me on this great journey called life. You already know who I am, you already know what I do, but not everyone knows who I am, and not everybody knows what it is that I do. So let me just start at the beginning. And of course, also the title of this live. Long time no see on the live. Yes, I know it's been quite a while. And excuse me for the bad lighting. Next time I will sit here with a little bit better lighting. So forgive me for that. Don't challenge me too much on that. Do my best. So I'm already happy that I got it this far, that I'm live here, and hopefully that on YouTube that people are also watching. But hey, if not, then you can always watch it back. That's the beauty of going live. You can always rewatch what has been recorded. So, like I already said, long time no see on the live. How have you all been? I hope that everybody's doing well. The summer is zone, so that means that everybody's back inside. All of y'all are back inside, I think. At least I am. But I'm mostly in my studio, so most of the time I am inside. If I want to get some inspiration, just some human contact and everything, of course I will be outside. But most of the time I'm inside. So what is it that I do inside of my studio? Inside of my studio, I am a contemporary artist. I create oil paintings, sometimes acrylic, sometimes mixed media, and I also like to illustrate and sketch. That is basically what I do as a contemporary artist. I focus on the creation of beautiful portraits of people from the Afro and Afro Caribbean diaspora. And it's very diverse, of course, where we come from. There are so many types of flavors in our many cultures from the diaspora. And I focus on the people that are living here in the Western hemisphere, that are living here in the Western world, and how we are actually standing in our culture. How much of our culture are we taking along with us? How much of our culture are we using in day to day life? We maybe, excuse me, we maybe are taking a very small part of what we have um, of our culture, our heritage, our language, our food, the colors, and everything else. Or maybe we take a lot of it with us, right? So that is what I basically focus on. Really, really simple, right? If you go on my website, I have this really long text. That's like the more Webster dictionary explanation of what I do. But here for you all, people that have never known me, you might have never seen me. You don't even know who I am. Maybe you have seen pictures of what it is that I create. Maybe you've seen videos, snippets here and there, and you never ever really heard my voice. You never see me talk, interact with you all. Then this is the moment where I really want to do that. I want to go back to introducing the live at least once a week, right? Once a week, we sit down and talk about some business. And that can be just the daily runnings of being an artist. That never stops. Fortunately, thank God, it doesn't stop. It's paying itself out. Um, but also, of course, subjects that might be very interesting to you, right? And have you expand your mind when it comes to art. And I really want to take this opportunity to be really honest. I want to take this opportunity not just to bond with you all and also open up and let's have this conversation where we just can talk about what we know and what we don't know about art. Each one teach one. I had I have someone in my network. He's a great dance teacher, great businessman, and he organizes one of the most well-known dance contests in Europe. And he loves to say, each one teach one. And I love it when he says that because I absolutely understand what it is that he means. Each one teach one. I also want to take on that role on teaching you all what it is and what it means within the art world, but also what it means to you, right? What does it mean to you, eventually, the end consumer? You might be looking for some art, you might be in the interest or on your way or looking for something that interests you, or you want to know just more information about it, something that you find very interesting, something that has been on your mind for quite some time. And listen, I fully understand. And that is where the life is for. The life is just to have this open forum, not to open. We're not going to say any disrespectful things or in the likings of that, but have an open forum where I get to teach you all and help you maneuver yourself within that particular sphere, that area. So I consider that to be my job. What I would love to receive from you all is, of course, your feedback. What is it that you're thinking? What are your most important questions? What have you been dealing with? Maybe you want to know how you can reach me when it comes to my art. Maybe you want to know more about commissions. Maybe you want to know if I have art prints. All of those type of questions. Maybe just simple questions of how do you hang art? What's the best way to hang your artwork? Right? All of those things are very important, and that is what this live is for. I really want to have that as an open forum. So what I expect from you, what I would love to see, and what I'm anticipating on, those two words are really important for me: anticipation and desire, because they create this beautiful feeling of something that is already here. You expect it to come. So those things I'm really looking forward to. Feedback is crucial, because even though I am an artist and I have a vision of what I would like to create and what I create, and I have so many ideas and projects, and I create my own expos, join expos. The last group expo that I have was oh my god, it was last year. Ah, last year, from September to November in Amsterdam. Great experience. Um, having those type of activities, I also understand that it goes a little bit further. Y'all want to know more. Y'all want to have the answers. Y'all want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Now, I'm not calling myself a horse. Definitely don't look like one. But y'all want to know from the horse's mouth. You want to know what it is that, you know, what is this thing? What is it? And it's easier, right? It's easier when somebody just tells it to you, explains it to you in plain language. And I can sit here and go all into technicalities, which is no problem, because listen, it is important for you to know and also for me to explain to you the technicalities about certain things. So we are definitely not going to omit that. But I do want to, um, I do not want you to get lost in the sauce. I don't want you to get lost in hard, difficult jargons, words that eventually, down the road will become clear to you. We'll start to pick them up, right? It's not important to do it right now. Right now, I want to get acquainted with you all again, right? Because it has been quite some time that I've been on the live. And the beauty of having a platform like this um, where I'm interacting with you all, it's not just me talking, but interacting with you all, is that you get to see who I am, what I do. So what do I do have to what do I have on the planning? That's a better way of saying it. No bad grammar here. What do I have on my planning? So of course, like I already said, teaching you all, giving you information, but also showing you my studio. Sometimes giving snippets of what it is that I'm working on. Just the runnings of what it is that we all consider to be art. So studio visits, snippets of painting. Sometimes I'm going to explain a painting that I've created. What is the thought process? How do I create it? How big is it? What's the price of it? I want to be open and transparent about that, right? And another thing that I can be very open and transparent about is there are no intermediaries here. So there is no reason for me to be promoting a organization or a business except mine. So that is at least the playground that we are both standing on. It's an evil leveled playground. So I have no intention to be promoting somebody unless they are rightfully so sponsoring your girl for it. But if not, if they are not paying these bills, they will not be promoted. They will not. But the first intention is, of course, for us to really have this great forum where we just can speak about it and openly speak about it. Because sometimes I have the feeling that when people talk about art, they are afraid to say something wrong. They are afraid to ask the wrong question, right? Well, I don't want to ask that question because I don't want to offend anybody. Or if I say something about the taste that I have about certain art, I don't want to offend anybody. You cannot offend me unless I really notice that it's malicious. And if it's malicious, I will definitely address it. Trust me, you will be dealt with. But I fully understand that people have different tastes, different likes, right? Different perspective. You come from different cultures. Like I already explained, the Afro and the Afro Caribbean diaspora, where I focus on and where I get my inspiration from and create my paintings, is so diverse. I'm really someone who looks in contemporary time. So, what is happening right now at this particular moment? How are we living now? And what from our culture do we see back? Everything that meshes with each other, that has a synergy with each other. I love putting that into my paintings. I started painting mostly women because in that particular period, I came from a perspective where we see so little of beautiful melanated women on the canvas, and most of the time it's done by people that are not so close to our culture, but might be affiliated to that. But it brings a different filter. It brings a different perspective. And for me, it's really important to give you all the perspective that comes from these eyes and the culture that I know I came from, and which I also feel should be respected as such, right? It doesn't need a filter, it doesn't need to be translated, put into other words. We don't need to do that. I'm a pretty straightforward painter when it comes to my work, but I do like to put some hidden signs and messages in my work. That's something I do like to do. I love to evoke the emotion in people, but also make people think. And it's not necessarily that I paint from a political or social economical point of view, but those things can be present in my work. So I do not omit them. I don't, go out of the way of them at all. At all. So yeah, I started with painting women, and now I am painting also men and women, because the synergy between the masculine and the feminine, but also men and women, is something that is really important in our culture. It creates balance, it creates two sides of the story, but it creates also a complete story. So sometimes you will find women on my canvases, sometimes you will find men on my canvases, sometimes you will find them both. So there for me is no distinction between that at all. Afro and Afro Caribbean culture is very diverse, like I already said. And we come in many shades, many different shades. So, in no way will you see one particular look, but you will definitely get the feeling from, okay, this is definitely a culture being portrayed on campus. And it's something that I'm very proud of, by the way. I'm very proud of my heritage. I myself, actually, my mother and my father are from Surinamese descent. I was born here in the Netherlands, born and raised in the Netherlands, but I definitely got my Surinamese culture just fed into me. So also being around people that are from different African countries, people from other Afro-Caribbean countries within the Caribbean hemisphere, um, we are everywhere. We are everywhere. When I say we, that means people that, from the Afro Caribbean diaspora. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. So this platform is also just to have an open dialogue about those particular things, that the importance of portraying people in such a way, the importance of portraying people um, that are mostly seen as a minority. And I just want to show us as a whole, we are not just a minority, because it sounds for me sometimes very inferior. I don't know about you all, but sometimes it can sound really like as if we are the lesser choice, and it's not really that. It's not really that. But I do understand that it's a social economical term, it's a classification, and it's also a political term. So yeah, it has many layers to it. But anyway, like I already said, we take easy steps here. We're not really making things all the way too hard unless it is necessary. Unless it is really necessary for me to use some hard words, some expensive words, I will use them, and I will also explain that. So that's definitely something that you can expect of me. Expect of me. I'm so excited that I'm back live again, because normally, for the people that already are following me on YouTube, or you are following me on Facebook, and if you're following me or if you're watching right now, hit up a like, please. Stop subscribing. Start subscribing. And I will explain later on why it's so important for you all to subscribe and like content. Why is it so important to do that? But we'll come there. We're still talking. We're still talking to each other. So, where was I? I kind of lost track. That doesn't matter. I will come to it later on. But anyway, I think I lost track. Well, let me explain why it's important to subscribe and like the content that I have here for you all. Oh, now I know. Here. I know. For the people that have been following me on the YouTube and on the Facebook and on Instagram. So I'm already telling you where it is that you can find me. You can find me on the Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. And most of the content that you will find is on YouTube and Instagram. I've been kind of neglecting Facebook. I know. Well, Facebook is the place for people to really network, and you know your people, it's your tribe. This is actually a really good place to be with each other. I love Instagram, but sometimes Instagram is a little bit bougie, pretentious. It is. YouTube is definitely a place where you get to form your tribe. So that is a place where I also are, where you can find my content on a weekly basis. I post what is going on in my studio. It's also called MCJ's Art Studio. So there you will find everything that's going on in the day-to-day life as a contemporary artist. What I am going through, tips and tricks that I have for you all, and of course, the paintings that I create so that you can see what it is I create. My YouTube channel is not a channel where I'm going to teach you how you can paint. I know those are very popular, and in the future, there probably could be some events that I might be organizing where people can actually learn to paint or something like that. I don't know if I'm there yet with it. I really have to set it up really carefully, because I'm the type that really wants to. I know it's not going to be perfect, but we need to set it up tightly and perfectly, correctly. Correctly. Nevertheless, it's not a channel where you get to see how I'm going to take you by the hand step by step. This is really something that you get to see as a sort of a personal diary that is public to a certain extent. You get to see what it is that I do. behind the scenes. Some things I don't show, other things I do show. Some things I'm like, okay, this is very important for other creatives and artists to know, and other things will come in due time, right? There's a right momentum when things need to show themselves up for us. And I take heavily use of that notion. So the YouTube is a place where you really can join that tribe, the MCJ Art Studio. It's a place where I create content for other creators, creatives, and artists, people that basically are professional, or want to go professional, but also for people that are, themselves are artists with having the title of being an artist. So that's a great place for you to be. A great place for you to be. If you want to see more documentation of what happens in the art studio. It's kind of hard when you do that on live, but it's easier when I get to film that. It is pre-recorded content, so it's not like this, where I'm sitting with you all and it's live. It's a live video. But it's pre-recorded content, it is edited content, and you'll get to see everything that's going on. So it's basically an art lifestyle type of vlogging that I'm doing over there. Go over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a great YouTube channel. It's still growing. I really, really want to push it to 1,000 people. Come on, really to 1,000 people. And I know that it will be helpful if you all support me in that journey as well. The Instagram page is, of course, the page where people get to, a lot of people get to see me there first on my Instagram page. I post a lot of the things that also happen in the studio. You see basically I would almost say an Instagrammable portfolio of what I do and what I have. That's how I treat it. An Instagrammable portfolio, almost as if each and every single picture is an exposition. Yes, it is. So that is my Instagram. Facebook falls in line with that. But like I already said, I'm here now. Let's have that conversation, right? And listen, we are more on the internet anyway, so let's have really meaningful conversations with each other, like right now, right? Let's get acquainted. I'm not going to bombard you everything with the technicalities of what it is that I do. That will come later on. So yeah, but yeah, back. I kind of missed it. Sometimes I am a little bit hesitant about yeah, if going live is a way to do that, because you're talking to people straightly. Of course, it is easier just to pre-record your videos and post them and people can look at it. But I do believe that having a medium where people can, just see your face and hear you speak, like I already said before, that is important. People want to see who they're talking to, and I'm not some kind of muppet. No, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, I'm going towards the end of this first, after a century type of life that we have been talking, or actually I've been talking. So I will be back next week. Next week I will be back with a live, maybe this week. I kind of have to see how many times people would like to see this. So if you are seeing this or you are watching this later on, comment on it, like, and leave a comment behind, because then I can see if this is something that you would like to see more of, or maybe you don't want to see more of this, right? That's kind of hard to say after the first time. So I think after a couple of times it will be clear if people want to see it, yes or no. But leave a comment behind. Don't be shy. Leave a comment behind. Tell me what it is that you think about it. Maybe you already have a question that you are eager, like you've been waiting to ask that question. That is what this platform is for. So you can use it in such a way as well. Now, coming to the last point before I leave: subscribe, like, and follow. I cannot stress how important it is. Before I moved into this digital sphere, I was not even interested, and I didn't even understand what this whole thing was about. That you had to subscribe, you had to like, and you had to, oh, what is this all about? I'm here, right? Why do I need to subscribe? Why do I need to like? I'm already watching your content. That's the first part. The reason why it's so important for you as the viewer to like the content is that it pushes it further into the digital world. More people get to see it. And more people get to see it, more people get to respond to it and like it. And that also means that, the platform that you're watching it on, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, or whether you're somewhere else, people get to hear more about it. People get to see more about it. And more of that will be then also provided by the social media platform. So it's a great measurement for me that you like what it is that I'm doing. But it's even better because more content like this is being pushed out. And we see too little of this type of content, right? We see too little of it. More of it. So like the content. Like the content. But I don't mind saying it at all because um, it is just something that people are really not, it's not the last thing on your mind. So that's why I see it as my job to just, give you a small reminder, like a small snap, like, hey, don't forget to like the channel, like the content, comment, even if it's a hello, a bye, or great topic, or more of this, or could you talk more about that? No problem. Just put it there. And subscribing. Subscribing builds the community. Subscribing lets you also know that there are more people out there like you. And having this whole tribe, it also creates a beautiful platform for people just to exchange their thoughts. What is it that you're thinking about? What type of questions do you have? Um, as it pertains to what it is that I do. Okay? I can give a relationship advice here and there a couple of times. Because, hey, that's also part of art, right? It's also, if you really look at it, everything is art. Okay? Everything is art. An old friend of mine said, listen, if you look at the construction worker, how he's placing brick by brick, how he's laying all those bricks to perfection so that there's a right foundation, now that is art. Now, everything can be art for me. Here it's a little bit different. Okay? Here it's a little bit different. So, yeah, like, subscribe, share. Maybe there's an artsy person in your family. Maybe there's a creative person in your family. You're like, wait a minute, this might be really good for that person. Bring them over. Bring them over here. Okay? Like and subscribe. You can go to my YouTube. You can go to my Instagram. You can find it here on the Facebook page. Or if you're on YouTube, you can find it there in my profile, I think. I think it's over there. Right? I think it's over there. So yeah, like I already said, this is a YouTube and a Facebook Live. Those will be saved. If a live will not be saved, then I will mention that as well. But most lives will be saved. Um, to conclude everything, I hope that this has been a great talk just to catch up so that you know what it is that I do, who I am. You see the face, you hear the voice, which is really important. You can't just bombard in somebody's life and be like, hey, here I am, right? We have to get to know each other, get to know each other again a little bit. And you know what it is that I do and what I have to offer, and also what I expect from you, so that this is an interactive platform. It's not just about me just talking. Eventually, I will get tired. I will get tired of all the time. So, I'm gonna get off the line, and I'm gonna wish you all a very good night. If you're somewhere else on the planet where the sun is shining, a good morning to you. If not, I'm gonna say enjoy the rest of your evening. Probably I'll be popping up later on this week. Like I already said, I'm going to be doing more of these type of lives, and eventually it will definitely be something on a weekly basis. Subscribe, like, share, And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all. I missed y'all so much. Bye, y'all. See you next time.